Hello, you guys. Welcome. Just call me Crystal. Um, there's some things that I want to cover today regarding, some news that I have been viewing, scrambling through, and gathering some information. And after reviewing some of this news, when you find out certain things, you kind of be shocked. But then, if you already seen the history of it before, you don't be shocked. Now, I just was watching the story on Robert Kelly, singer Robert Kelly. He put out a lot of great music. Even in my times, in the 90s when I did listen to him, I enjoyed listening to his music. I thought it was great. As a songwriter, his lyrics were very, you can say sexual. Because I'm a songwriter myself. And by listening to the songs that he'd write, he was talking about, some people would say love or, sex, but basically in his music, if you're paying attention, he's telling, his audience how he feels and what he's about. And, he's expressed himself in his music. As far as the cases and the things that has been said about Robert Kelly, it's sad, it's sad to know that this was happening to these victims. And even listening to the wife, she had said something that has really caught my attention, because when you're in relationships, sometimes you can be in a relationship and you can see that same behavior that someone else would share with you, and you can recognize it immediately if you've been through that situation. And she said something that stuck out to me when she said about her husband wanting to be controlling, and the food started tasting nasty, and he didn't like this and he didn't like that. It was basically when you're in a relationship and the man starts acting like that, he's seeing someone else. He's not happy. Okay? He's not happy. He's always gonna find things that might make you feel down. He's gonna find things to say to make you feel bad. Or, man, the story that she said kind of reminded me of a situation that I've been through. We've all been through relationships, and I've been through that. I've heard that saying, and it reminded me so much of when she said, like, he started just not liking this and not liking that. It just reminded me of, it's like this control thing that some control freaks use. People saying he's a pimp, he's been called all this, from many names. You have the people out in Salt Lake City, they have compounds. Some of these, successful men, they have compounds of women breeding children, and these guys are marrying the women and having children with the women, and then marrying the children and having babies with the children. So after watching this revealing thing of the R. Kelly, I mean, I thought like a lot came to mind. A lot came to mind. I said, wow, you know, it's sad, you know, the stories that you hear of how somebody's being controlled, but then also you want to say, you know, okay, they're manipulative, but, you know, the majority of us, we know right from wrong. We know right from wrong. Maybe they were afraid, or, you know, in some case, if you stayed, you wanted to stay. You liked it, you know, but the problem was the age. But then when you look at age, and when you talk about age, there's certain countries, there's certain states where the age limit of being an adult can be 14. In certain countries, they're 13. Certain places, they're 16. So wherever this behavior was taking place, you know, in some cases, maybe it was legal, and then in maybe some states where he did this, it was illegal. I wasn't there. I just heard the story. I listened to all of, you know, the victims' stories. And I'm sorry, the lights went dead, but I listened to all the victim stories, and I just want to say, there it is, we're back. I just want to say, you know, as women, especially women of color, you know, we have to be more careful of the situations we put ourselves in. We have to be more careful of who we meet, you know. Sometimes, like for instance, okay, he's known already. He was known. He already had a history. He already had priors. But then you have more women coming and coming and coming and coming with these cases. So if this man was said to have priors and has been convicted, now he's not convicted. He's been let off. What? Because he had money, he paid people to be quiet, or whatever the case may be. And he's still out, and here it is. We're still hearing it. I mean, what do you expect them to do to this man? Tiger Woods was one. He had a sex addiction. All these women came forth. They said he did this and did that, and you know, he was married. He had the wife. Same thing in R. Kelly's situation. The wife didn't know. You know, she was put up. She said he flew her somewhere, and she didn't even know why. You know, they were there. They didn't say nothing. The guard was at the door. I mean, that's just how some people move when they got money. They move like that. But I mean, it's very, very sad, you know, to hear that, you know, an individual has to experience that, you know, being with somebody who's very successful. And I'm gonna just tell you, when you're dealing with somebody that's successful and got mad money like that, don't expect everything to be all good and pretty and green. Okay? Don't expect that, because, hey, the more money, the more problems, the more women, the more men, you know, the more issues, the more drama. You're dealing with society, the paparazzi, the news. More people want to come in your circle, you know. And I just want to let you guys know, to the victims, you know, I really feel for you, you know, if you've been through such torture and confinement and deceit and Your spirit has been torn and your soul has almost been ripped apart. What you're dealing with and what you was dealing with is a very, very devious, trickery, evil entity. This kind of behavior that has been projected upon you, I've seen it before. And from the spiritual aspect of it, they would diagnose it as what would they call it? They would, this man, he needs like an exorcist. He needs deliverance. He's traveled over the world. He's slept, from the stories, he's slept with a lot of different spirits. And you know, when going into talking about, you know, sharing different body fluids and just opening up your sanctuary, you know, to different type of people, you don't know where they've been. You don't know where he's been, but we know he's been all over the world. And, you know, he's been with a lot of different people. So somewhere down the line, you know, as he was going from, you know, woman to woman, or, well, some people said he dealt with men to men, he's collected a lot of, they call them legions. And somewhere it's so many. When you talk about legions, he got so many to where it overtakes you. It overtakes you. So for this man to be healed and to really get some help, he's gonna need a powerful priest to actually exorcise all those spirits that he's collected with inside of him. It's like, you know, that movie Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. What do you think Freddy Krueger was doing? Pay attention to that movie. If you get a chance, go back. What was he doing? He was collecting souls. So it's like when you're going from, you know, soul to soul, you're allowing, our body is like a portal. It's like a portal. So you have to be careful what you let into your portal. Okay? I'm just talking to you from a spiritual level. And that's how it's being seen from, you know, the church side. And from my studies, that's the diagnosis. Yeah, it's mental. You know, the psychiatrist would say, you know, it's mental. But then, you know, from the church, it's a spiritual attack, and these, they call them demons. They have possessed his body. You know, even when he said he was, you know, disrespected and molested from the ages 7 to 12, you know, whoever did that to him, you don't know, they put a bad demon into him to where it grew with him. And over the years, he's got his success, he's got his money, he's got his fame, he dealt with different women and men. He's collected so much within him. It's going to take a process for this man to heal. If he doesn't get the right help that he needs, this evil, as you know, we call it, it can take him out. I've seen it happen to people. And you know, some people are just protected, and it's sad to say, you know, he's protected. I'm watching, you know, the documentary on him, and looked at the cases over the years and how he was able to pay, you know, these people off. He's protected. And he's protected by a very, very, very powerful entity that you don't ever want to encounter. So, from what I'm seeing, that is why things are being handled the way they are being handled. I know, certain situations are hard to understand, but sitting here looking back and doing the research, this type of entity, if you ever run into something like this, get away. Get away. Especially just in any situation. The money comes, they got power, then here it is, he's running a brothel, as they say. Those women don't have to stay. You cannot be held against your will. You are held against your will because you want to be held against your will. Okay? It's the music business. People are being promised record deals. Hey, I've been through it. I've been promised record deals, and I've been signed, on labels. I've did backgrounds for many of people. Some records didn't even come out. Hey, and I was happy to get paid up front for whatever I did, and I'm still doing my stuff independently. But enough about that. I learned, so you have to learn. And my advice is, if you can, learn the business yourself, because this is going into the business. You want to be a singer. You think because you meet somebody who's already a celebrity, been in the game, they got hit records, so you think they're going to pick you up, and they make all these promises and they're going to put you out. It's not the case all the time. You don't know what a lot of these women go through to get to the top, and some will never tell you. But, some people will let you get in there and you just bump your head and you have to learn yourself. But I'm just going to tell you the truth. Okay? I'm just going to tell you the truth. Lights went out again, but it's okay. Just try to do it yourself. Because dealing with this industry and the business, you're going to run into a lot of snakes. A lot of snakes. And he ain't the only one, okay? He ain't the only one. They just haven't got caught yet. It's a lot of them. It's many of them. And they hide behind that position. They hide behind their money, and they pay people. And they got friends already in position that's there to protect them. Why? Because their friends is going along with them, and their friends are doing the same thing too. So my best advice to you, do it yourself. Be careful who you meet. Try to surround yourself around positive people, and research the guy that you're dealing with. Research him. It may take for you to go down to the courthouse to see. Okay? And that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Stay tuned for the next episode. Coming live to you, Crystal Jones. See you later.